ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Dear students, today let us learn on structure of the judiciary, jurisdiction and functions of Supreme Court, High Court and subordinate court. So this is a very important topic. On this topic many questions are asked here. You can see here, describe the importance of judiciary, explain the structure of judiciary, describe the jurisdiction of Supreme Court, explain the formation and functions of Supreme Court, High Court, subordinate courts, and also write a note on subordinate courts. So these are important questions are asked repeatedly in the examination. So it is a very important topic. Let us focus on this, dear students. Okay. We all know that in Government of India there are three important organs. Those are legislative, executive and judiciary. We have studied already the legislative organ, executive organ. Today let us focus on the third remaining organ, that is judiciary, which contains Supreme Court, High Court and district courts. Okay, what is the importance of independent judiciary? What is meaning of independent judiciary? And also describe the importance of judiciary. So let us study this. First one, Indian judiciary organ. Judiciary means it is Nyayanga. It interprets and enforces laws. Interprets means analyze madodu. Enforce means to force to implement the laws. So who will make the laws? By legislative organ. Legislative organ andre Shasakanga. Shasakanga laws, it will make the laws. So those laws are interpreted by the judiciary organ. And who are executing the laws? Executive organ. So executive members will be executing the laws. So those laws made by the legislative organ and executed by the executive organ of the government, so those are interpreted, analyzed and enforced. So they are forced to be implemented by legislative organ and executive organ of the Government of India. Next is, it is said to be independent because it can neither be influenced by executive nor by legislative organs of the government. So this is very important here. So judiciary is known to be independent. So ನಮ್ಮ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವಾದ organ. So that is independent. And you can see here, it cannot be influenced, neither be influenced, that is executive organ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಟಿವ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಯಾವುದು ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್. ಇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಎನಿ ಫಿಯರ್ ಆರ್ ಫೇವರ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಇರಲಾರ್ದೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಫೇವರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್. It is the backbone of the government because whenever there is a dispute between the center and state, between state and the citizens and among the states. So here you can see that dispute means jagala. So elladru jagala iddaga, jagala andre elladru ಗೊಂದಲವಿದ್ದಾಗ, conflicts, ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಸೊ ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಟು ಸಿಟಿಜನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಸಿಟಿಜನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್. And judiciary is the only one organ which controls the dispute and pass the judgment. So this is only one organ, so which will actually solve the problems of citizens of India or solve the problems of government. So that is here taken as dispute. ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಜಗಳ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ pass the judgment. So judgment order pass ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. Next, in the life of citizens of state, judiciary is a source of confidence and fearlessness. So this is very important here. So for each citizen of India, so judiciary actually gives the confidence, ಒಂದು ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ, ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸವನ್ನು ಅದು ಕೊಡ್ತೈತಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಿಯರ್ಲೆಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಇರಲಾರ್ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ this judiciary organ will help a lot. The common man depends upon the judiciary for getting justice. So ಒಂದು ನ್ಯಾಯವನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, so the common man depends on the judiciary. ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. Without a security of rights and freedom guaranteed by the judiciary, they cannot really hope to carry out their jobs and enjoy their living. ಸೊ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಲೈಫ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಇರಲಾರ್ದೆ, ಸೊ that person requires certain justice and also security in the life. So that is provided by the judiciary. They are more dependent upon the judiciary than the legislative and executive. You can make a note here. The citizen of India or the government that depends more on judiciary rather than legislative and executive organ. Without judicial protection, their lives can become miserable. Suppose judiciary irde idre, ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗ irde idre, ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಜನರಿಗೆ ಅದು ಒಂದು ವಿಷಾದಕರವಾದ ದುಃಖಕರವಾದ atmosphere create ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. From citizens point of view, judiciary is the most important organ of the government. So you can see here the judiciary is a very important organ of the government. So that is why we have to see that why it is so important in the government of India.
In this module, you will learn about the Indian judicial system and the composition and role of the Supreme Court and High Court. The Indian judiciary comprises the Supreme Court at the apex, followed by the High Courts in different states and the subordinate courts. The Supreme Court, the High Courts and the subordinate courts are all linked to each other. Hence, the judicial system is also known as an integrated judicial system. The judiciary is an independent organ. The Supreme Court is the highest court in India. It is the guardian of the Indian Constitution. The Supreme Court of India is located at New Delhi. The Supreme Court comprises the Chief Justice and a maximum of 30 other judges. The Supreme Court hears and gives rulings on both civil and criminal cases. The High Court is the highest court in the state. Each High Court in India has the jurisdiction of one or more state and union territory. Presently, there are 24 High Courts in India. Of these, 3 High Courts have control over more than one state. A High Court consists of a Chief Justice and other judges. The High Court deals with cases such as those concerning the fundamental rights of citizens, election petitions, and other civil and criminal cases.
Yes. So before starting with the structure of judiciary, firstly we need to learn what exactly the word judiciary means. Yes. In India, judiciary is one of the branch of the government which is dealing with the law matters. Yes. If we have any crime or any public issue with any of the others, we or you cannot solve it by ourselves. So we need to go to court, wherein the law is made by some judges or some knowledgeable person. If we ourselves give the decision, it may be correct to our point of view, but in the other's eye it may be wrong. So we need to have some law or some people who are going to concern with the law. So they have to give the correct judgment to us, we can say. So in India, courts are being made. So there are totally 3 types of courts made in India. So before going with the courts, we'll see what is judiciary. Why is it important? Okay. So firstly, structure of the judiciary. First one is, our Indian Constitution of India has provided an integrated single judiciary system. Yes. Here, the word integrated single judiciary system means, it can be said that everything is linked with the procedures. Yes. If we are stuck with the public issue, we cannot solve it by our own decision. We need to go to court. Why we need to go to court? Because at our point of view, we may be doing correct, but at the other's point of view, we are totally wrong. So there's some knowledgeable and highly skilled people will be there, called as judges. They will be dealing with our cases, we can say. So integrated single judiciary is linked with the procedures, we can say. Yes. Firstly, if we have any crime or any issue with the other public, we need to go to lower courts first. It may be civil court, criminal, or the revenue courts, we can say. Then if are not satisfied by their decision, then we can go to High Court. There also, if we won't get correct decision what we need, we can then go to Supreme Court. Simply not going to High Court and Supreme Court. If we think we have did correct and the decision in the lower court is wrong, then only we can go to other high courts or other courts. Simply not appealing to High Court and Supreme Court. So next is the Supreme Court of India is at the apex or at the top, is the highest judicial authority. So this means in Indian Constitution it have been systematically prepared. Yes. So the court at the high level in India is called as the Supreme Court, which is at Delhi. It was first in Kolkata in British period, but then transferred to Delhi in the year 1966. Yes. Supreme Court in India has the highest authority, we can say. There is no big court than Supreme Court in the whole nation, we can say. Then is the High Court at the state level are subordinated to the Supreme Court. Yes. So under the Supreme Court, there are the High Courts which are at the state level. So High Courts were first established in 3 presidency cities. Presidency means famous cities. Like Kolkata, Madras, Mumbai in 1862. Under High Courts, we can find again the district or the subordinate courts, so which are at the district level. So then the subordinate courts at the district level are supervised by the High Courts. This means that we all know there are 30 districts in Karnataka, right? We have 30 district courts also. So in India totally there are 672 districts, and therefore there are 672 district courts in India. Yes. Then is controlled by the High Courts, and High Courts are being controlled or supervised by the Supreme Court. So at the peak it is Supreme Court which control all other lower courts, we can say. Then at the state level it is High Court, then under High Court it is District Court. Yes. Under High Court it is District Court. Yes. Then in structure of judiciary, firstly we learnt what exactly is Supreme Court, then High Court, District Court. In district courts we are going to learn Civil Court, Criminal Court and Revenue Court. So before going with that all 3 courts, first we'll briefly know what exactly the Supreme Court of India does. It is at the apex or the top court in the Indian judicial system. Yes, we all know it is the court which controls the cases all over the nation. Okay, and obviously it has the vast responsibilities and also the controls all the lower courts. Yes. Next is according to the article 124 of the Constitution, the Parliament of India determines the numbers of judges of the Supreme Court. Yes. So, Article 124 tells us that how the members of the Supreme Court have been arranged. So, in Article 124, it is clearly mentioned of the Supreme Court, we can say. Now, there are currently 27 members and maximum possible strength is 34. Yes, there can be 34 members in Supreme Court also. The lower number of members, the less possible members is 27, they are saying. So next, today the Supreme Court of India has 25 judges and a Chief Justice. Yes, there are totally 25 judges at the present, and the head Chief Justice including him. Yeah, the present head Chief Justice of India is N.V. Raman. He is the 48th head chief of the Supreme Court. So we all know that the Chief Justice holds the highest ranking officer. Obviously, Supreme Court is the high level judicial in India. So the judge of the Supreme Court obviously holds the highest ranking officers, we can say. Including the Chief Justice are appointed by the President of India as per the advice of the Union Cabinet headed by the Prime Minister. Yes. Judges including head Chief Justice are being appointed by the President of India and as per the advice of Union Cabinet. So Union Cabinet. So what is this Union Cabinet? See, Union Cabinet is a group of members. So, who are responsible to make the supreme decisions making of India. Yes, Supreme, as we know, Supreme Court is the highest level of judiciary. So, we need some knowledgeable persons to handle the decisions of the Supreme Court, we can say. So, there are only two members in a union cabinet. Those are Prime Minister and President. So the present Prime Minister is Narendra Modi and the present President is Ramnath Kovind. So power of making decisions of the Supreme Court, that is called as Union Cabinet. So here the advice by the Union Cabinet and President will hold the maximum power, we can say. So only these both are going to make the decisions of the Supreme Court according to the article number 75. Yes. Then next is the judges will retire after 65 years of age. Some or the other day they have to retire. So this retirement is also given by the president only. So judges will retire after 65 years, but by the article it is said that whenever the judge is around 60 years, then he will be removed by the president itself. After getting aged, they can't think like knowledgeable persons, so they are removed around 60 years, we can say. Yes, this is Supreme Court. Then the qualifications of the judges. Qualifications of judges means what are the education or what they have to be studied to become a judge of the Supreme Court. As Supreme Court is a high level judicial authority, so qualifications are also he should be a citizen of India. Yes, citizenship means a person who is the member of the particular country. He must have been born from the particular country also. Then only he is going to get the citizenship of the particular country. Yes, he should be the citizen of India. Then is he should have served as a judge of High Court for at least 5 years. Yes, judge of High Court at 5 years means as we know, Supreme Court is the highest judicial authority in India. So he must be very knowledgeable and he must have great skills of speaking or commenting, etc. So this High Court judge is also taken, he must be served as a High Court judge. Yes, High Court judge is judge at a state level, so he have to be served as a 5 years of being judge there. Then he should have been an excellent jurist. So what is jurist? Jurist is a person who is expert knowledge of law. He must have the best skills to comment or to debate. Yes, simply becoming judge in Supreme Court is not so easy. We can't even become also. So we need to know each and every point of law, at what article it is, what it holds, how the powers and all. We need to know everything. Nationwide cases, if we are handling, we must be careful about it, because on our decision many lives have been treated. So by only one decision of the judge or the judge, so many lives are being standing, we can say. So we need to have killed, or he must be knowing the best skills of the laws and how to debate, how to speak, how to comment, that's all. Then he should have an experience as an advocate for at least 10 years. Yes, advocate is nothing but lawyer, we can say. It may be at a low level court or a subordinate level court or in High Court also, or in Supreme Court also. He must be served as a lawyer. Lawyer, we all know, who fights for the cases if the public appointing him, we can see. Yes, this is all about qualifications of the Supreme Court. Then we'll see the functions of the Supreme Court, functions also, and we can say powers also. First is original jurisdiction, the power to hear and determine a dispute in the first instance between the states or the center and state. Yes, jurisdiction. What is jurisdiction? Cases, it can directly go to the Supreme Court at the first instance, means appeal. Instance means appeal. Only it can directly go to the Supreme Court. Yes. See, firstly, if we have been any cases or anything, first we need to go to district court. Yes. But here some fundamental rights have been made by the Supreme Court. We know what is fundamental rights. Those are the rights which each and every individual have it. Fundamental rights may be right to equality, right to educational, that's all, etc. So if we know that firstly we need to approach district courts, but here if our fundamental rights are being violated means if they are being misused, if someone is not giving you to educate, someone is not treating you equally, if this happens, then we can directly appeal to Supreme Court. Yes, Supreme Court has this power. Being an ordinary individual of India, we can even go to Supreme Court directly. So so we can say this is the one of the greatest power of the Supreme Court. If this case is serious, then we can directly appeal to the Supreme Court without dealing with the lower courts. Yes. So this is first power. The second one is appellate jurisdiction, the power to hear cases on appeal. So it means Supreme Court has all the rights of a court to totally change the decisions of the lower court, and the decisions made by the Supreme Court will be final and we cannot change it. Yes. So there are some laws or made by the lower courts. They have some decisions, they have some rules, which we can say all courts. Yes, all courts actually have the many rules. So here Supreme Court has a much power, we can say. It can also change the decisions or the laws of lower courts. It may be district or the subordinate courts, or it can be high court also, or even the Supreme Court laws also it can change at any time. So whatever the decisions given by the Supreme Court, yes, it is the highest it is the last decision, we can say, and no else can change it. If we have even got the wrong decision also, sometimes it will not give wrong decision, but basically if it gives wrong decision, then we can't change it. It is final decision. We have to respect it. Yes. Then comes handles the cases of violations of fundamental rights. Yes, as I told, so we know all individuals of India have been given with some basic rights. Those are fundamental rights. So if it comes under Article 32, individual, it may be any individual, disrespect of their caste, creed or color, language, etc. Any individual whose fundamental right has been violated can directly move to the Supreme Court for their remedy without going to lower courts like civil, criminal or revenue, or even high court also. We can directly go and approach the Supreme Court with our case that we have been violated by someone for our fundamental rights. Yes, fundamental rights is something like right to constitutional remedies, right to equality, right to vote, right to education. So these are all fundamental rights. To live, we need fundamental rights. Yes, if we have born, then from birth only we are going to get if these rights are being violated, then we can directly go without approaching the low level courts. So this is the power of Supreme Court. Yes. Then Supreme Court has an appellate jurisdiction in the civil cases, criminal matters. It has the power to also change the decisions of the cases and the decisions given in the lower courts. It means nothing. It can be the decisions of the civil. Civil means cases dealing with the land, property. Criminal means cases dealing with murder or theft, we can say. It can it can also change the decision. Lower courts, whatever decision lower court make, there is no stable. Supreme Court can change it at any time also, and may give the any types of decisions. So we need to respect what the decisions given by the Supreme Court, we can say. So then the Supreme Court has an advisory jurisdiction on any question of law or fact of public importance when President referred it to SC for its opinion. Yes. Sometimes what happen is, some cases comes to Supreme Court wherein judges won't solve these cases. It is the matter is directly given to the public, we can say. Sometimes the president also takes the suggestion. He may take suggestion. It may be like, some cases it may be like very serious. The judges give the wrong decision. Some public may harm the judges. So the president can take the suggestions from the public also. On the based on their suggestion, he may also give the decisions also. Yes, sometimes big cases in India, we can say, it is directly given to the public only. We only have to decide, or we only have to give the final decisions, and then the president finally announces the decisions which is given by the public. So this power also Supreme Court has. Then under the 37, Supreme Court can review any judgment pronounced or order made by it. Yes. So Article 137 tells us the type of the decisions can be made, we cannot question them, or the order given by it, the order will be the final. Whatever the Supreme Court gives, if you want to change even the decisions of the Supreme Court, there is much process, we can say. We need to write letter to the president, then we have to request and all. This is literally, it takes some more time. So the final result will be always better in the Supreme Court only. So next, under the Article 129, the Supreme Court is a court of a record of it. It maintains the records of the proceedings, acts and decisions. Yes. Whichever cases the Supreme Court handles or gives the decision at the last, it maintains all the records of it. Yes, making record is very used. Sometimes the people or the public may fight among themselves that right was given to us, but then if the record is shown to the public, then it will be proved that yeah, we were right. So the Supreme Court also maintains the records. Yes. Next is, it acts as a guardian of the fundamental rights of the citizen. As we have seen, if any individual's fundamental rights is being violated, then we can go to. So here we can say that yes, it guards our fundamental rights also. So it is also formed by Supreme Court only, fundamental rights. If they are going to violate, then we can appeal to Supreme Court. So it acts as a guardian there. Then it acts as a guardian of our constitution. Yes, as it gives the correct decision to any of the cases without violating caste, creed, language and all. So it even not sees looks at the gender also, or always guards or protects the Indian constitution. It doesn't see which caste you are, which creed you are, which language you are speaking, or which color or which gender are you, without based on these topic or without violating these, it gives the correct decision, we can say. So it is the guardian of our constitution, we can say. Yes, this is about the Supreme Court. Then we'll learn about what is High Court. We know High Court is under the control of Supreme Court. So High Courts are at the state level, we can say. So there are, it is a middle level, because at the top there is a Supreme Court and at the bottom it is District Court. So the middle level is High Court. Same way the High Courts also have the control on the District Courts. So the present Chief Justice of High Court Karnataka's High Court is Abhay Srinivas. So we know that there is in every state has a High Court, yes, but there is only one High Court in Chandigarh for Punjab and Haryana state. So these are at the middle level courts or the subordinate courts of the Supreme Court. The High Courts have full control over subordinate courts in India. So our constitution established subordinate courts in India. So our constitution established a High Court in each state. But the Parliament may establish a single court in Chandigarh for Punjab and Haryana state. Yes, there is only one state in Chandigarh, Punjab and Haryana state. One more example is northeastern states. Ram and Arunachal Pradesh also shares a common high court at Guwahati. Why they share common high court? Yes, they can make their own high court in their own state, but there are not much cases, so only they are going to share the high court. Yes. So now presently there are 25 high courts in India. Then composition and appointments. So how can we appeal to High Court? Yes, every High Court consists of a Chief Justice and other judge if they are required. The judges of High Courts are appointed by the President of India by consulting Chief Justice of India, the Governor and Chief Justice of the concerned state. The Chief Justice and others hold their office up to 62 years of age and he may be removed by the President of India. Yes, High Court have presently 27 members including the head chief. So maximum number here it can be 34 members also. As it is a state level court, so the members of High Courts are appointed or selected by the Chief Justice of India. So we know Chief Justice is nothing but the Supreme Court judge. He is N.V. Raman. So he is the present Chief Justice. So the judges will be also removed by the President only when they are around 62 years of age. So High Court's whole control is by the Supreme Court only. So even the choosing at the members also, Supreme Court only is going to choose the members of the High Court. Yes, then the qualifications. What all we need to learn to become the member of High Court. Yes, firstly he should be a citizen of India. Yes, we all know what is citizen of India. He must be he must have the citizenship of his particular country from as a judicial officer or judge of the lower level court. Yes, to become judge of a High Court, he must have the experience as the judge of the lower level court also. Then he should have been an advocate of a High Court. So advocate is nothing but a lawyer. Firstly, he has to be even the judge and even the lawyer of the High Court. So he should be served as a lawyer also before becoming the judge for district courts. He must be lawyer for lower court also. Yes. So these are the qualifications. Then we are going to study functions or the powers of the High Court. The first one is these courts have no original jurisdiction in criminal cases and also minimum in civil cases. But under Article 226, a High Court can issue writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, criteria and quo warranto for enforcement of human rights. As we only know, only Supreme Court has the power. If our fundamental rights are being violated, then we can directly approach to Supreme Court. But some less power we can say than Supreme Court has been also given to the High Court. So firstly, what is original jurisdiction? Yes, it is if we have any criminal or civil courts, we can directly approach High Court, because we first need to deal with lower level courts. Yes, we need to deal with the lower level courts. Here, if we are being issued with any, or we have a issue with the public on the cases like criminal or civil courts, we obviously need to approach to the lower level courts. But under article, which is that article 226, sometimes it can also issue writs, orders. Writs are nothing but orders. What are those orders? If we have a serious level of criminal or civil cases which which we think subordinate cases cannot solve it, then we can directly approach to higher level court. Only in the cases like criminal or civil court. But the Supreme Court has the power to writs or to issue an order on the Supreme Court's order like fundamental rights. So yes, then in all cases of violation of any rights, yes, it has also the power to issue orders in cases of violation like any of the fundamental rights. Yes, as we know, India is a biggest country, we can say. So we have much number of population also. So day by day many cases are going to come, which it may be civil or criminal. So each and every person, if suppose in India many of them may be violated by their human rights, so everyone cannot approach to Supreme Court. And if we approach to Supreme Court, if like our fundamental rights are being violated, then the Supreme Court cannot handle other big issues like it. So we can also directly approach to High Court also. Yes, it has also the power to take decisions against the subordinate courts also. Decisions given by the subordinate or the lower courts, High Court can automatically change it, or it can stand opposite to it also. The next is it has an administrative control over subordinate courts in the state. It have all the powers, we can say, over the lower courts in the state. It have all the powers, we can say, over the lower courts. Administrative means organization. So next, it maintains the records of the proceedings, acts and decisions of the High Court. Yes, as the same way how Supreme Court maintains all the records of the cases, even High Court also maintains the records of the cases. It also deals with the cases of interpretations of the Constitution. What is interpretation? It means the method available to common people attempting to resolve the disputes for subordinate courts or district courts. Yes, if we then met with an public issues, then we directly don't know how to approach the subordinate courts, civil courts and all. So this interpretation in the High Court level, it gives us the basic idea how to approach to subordinate courts and all. So next we'll be learning what is subordinate courts. Subordinate courts are nothing but low level courts, or it may be a district level courts also. Yes, Article 233 of the Indian Constitution provides an appointment of a persons to will be choosing or appointing or posting or promoting the district judge. So the district judge is being chosen by the governor of particular state. So the present governor of Karnataka is Vajubhai Vala. So next, a person to be a district judge should have an experience of minimum 7 years as an advocate and should be recommended by the High Court. Judge should have an experience of 7 years or being a lawyer. Lawyer means one who is knowledgeable and skilled in law. He must be appealed by the High Court. High Court have to mention his name to be the judge of the subordinate courts, we can say. Then, other than district judge, a person can be selected under the Article 234 in consultation with UPSC and with the High Court of the state by the governor of the state, or UPSC may conduct competitive examinations for the requirement to the judicial service of the state. Yes, if you want to become the judge of the subordinate or the district court, then you need to write one exam, that is UPSC exam. Union Public Service Commission. Yes, if you pass in this exam or you score, then you can directly become the judge, or else you have to be consulted by the state governor. So the present state governor is Vajubhai Vala. Then is Article 235 provides the control over the district and the other subordinate courts by the High Courts. Article 235 tells us how the structure is of subordinate or the lower courts. Tells us the powers and controls also of the district. So we learnt all three types of courts. So again there are three types of courts in subordinate or the lower level courts. Those are civil court, criminal court and revenue court. Firstly, civil court. The district court is a civil court presided over by the district judge, who is also a sessions judge. Below district court, there are courts of subordinate judges. Appeals from subordinate civil courts lie first in district courts and then to the high courts. The functions of the civil court are: it exercises both original and appellate jurisdiction in civil cases. Then it supervises the subordinate courts in the district. Yes, civil court is nothing. It deals with the cases like land, property, money transaction, fraud cases, etc. So the judge here who is dealing with these cases is called as a district judge. So civil courts are the basic or the district level of courts. If the decision here is not satisfied, then we can again deal with high court. So criminal and revenue courts are being controlled by the civil courts. So here the functions and the powers of the criminal courts and the revenue courts is being controlled by the civil court only. Yes. It is also called as session court and presided over by a session judge. He can pass the death sentence, but it has to be confirmed by the high court before execution. Below this court, there are municipal courts. Yes. Criminal courts. What are these criminal courts? If this court is dealing with the cases like criminal offenses, like murder, theft, or etc., the judge dealing with this case is called as a session judge. District and session judge both are same only, but if he is dealing with the civil cases, then he is called as a district judge. If he is dealing with then he is called as a session judge. So in the cases like criminal cases, so punishment will be given, like if someone has did a murder, then there is a punishment of death also. So if such big punishments are being decided by the judges, they have to be confirmed by the high courts and all. The final decisions of subordinate courts is not possible. They need to be verified by the high courts only. Yes. Then is the revenue court. So these are headed by the district collector, assistant commissioner and Tahsildar. They hear revenue cases of the district at different levels. So what are revenue courts? Cases dealing with the land revenue or agricultural land or the property or the taxes is called as a revenue courts. So here it will be controlled by the district collector, assistant commissioner and Tahsildar of the district.
Thank you, Prerana, for your very nice presentation. Okay, dear students, we have studied a very important topic, that is the judiciary and structure of judiciary. In detail, we have seen Supreme Court, High Court, subordinate courts. I think it is very clear to you. Thank you.